Today, I'll be ranking all the Call of Duty campaigns all the way back from Call of Duty 4, like the OG Modern Warfare game, all the way up to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. This doesn't include like multiplayer or zombies, this is only going to be the campaigns I'll be talking about today. I'll be going like slightly in depth on why I believe that the game deserves the rank it's going to get. And I'll be going through the games in a chronologically order. I also have like 5+ points on like what the game did right, what the game did wrong, or what just made it like a unique experience compared to other games in the series. So let's go. So the first game on the list is of course Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I mean, this game literally just changed how we think about Call of Duty games, or how Call of Duty games are made up until this day. Because back in the day when you had like Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3, they were basically war games where the story was like, not a story, it was more like told through like you experiencing like different historical events. And the game started off with you, as like with Captain Price as Soap, having to take over this container ship, which is like a very cool mission to like open up this era of like how to make Call of Duty games. And you had your first mission being up in an AC-130, which was pretty cool. Like usually all the story was told through like boots on the ground, but now you're up in a like a gunship, and the game contains maybe the best mission ever made in Call of Duty history. I'm of course talking about the ghillie suit mission where you play as Captain Price, having to sneak around. It's like one of my personal favorites, and I think it's a very like a personal favorite of many people. And like the mission is just like how it's built up and everything is just basically a 10 out of 10. And the end, of course, where Zakhaev kills Gas on the bridge and your whole crew. And then when Captain Price slides you the gun and you grab it and kills Zakhaev, it overall feels very good, and it's like a very good ending to like a very good Call of Duty game. So I decided to place Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare in the S+ tier for now. But like changes may happen, so stick around to the end to see like my final result. World of War had some things going for it. It had a couple of nice things. Like one thing was like having the flamethrower, just like burning people. Other thing was like being up in a plane, having to control the guns, trying to like shoot the ship down below. Some new things like in war games we've not seen before. So that's kind of a nice add-on to the game. Though one of the best things about the game was the mission with Reznov, where you're lying in this pile of bodies and you have to snipe like different Germans around you. So that was a kind of a cool mission. Like going back, taking some of the elements from like the best sniper games, and then like through that developing a small relationship to Reznov. And the ending was like kind of sweet, where you were in Berlin trying to fight away the Germans, and then at the ending, like the last few minutes of the game, where you have to plant this flag all over, like you have the horizon of like Berlin. And it's together with Reznov. It's a very cool ending to the game. It's still more going back to Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3, being like more of a war game than a story-based game. But it's still not. It just lacks something to be like as good as like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And then we have Modern Warfare 2, where we get introduced to Shepard, our Lieutenant General, who will be our best friend, our great captain, and that will never betray us. Then I would say there's like 5 very memorable missions that stand out like clearly. You have the snow mission with Soap, where you just have to like stealthily infiltrate the base, and it's such a good map that like there's nothing like more to say. Then we have the No More Russian mission, where you together with Makarov have to slaughter hundreds if not thousands of innocent people. Like this mission was like super terrifying and super extreme, just like having a mission where you just slaughter civilians. I mean, we've never seen that one before, and that might be why like it's so memorable, because it's so extreme. And we have yet another snow mission where you have to go, this time with Captain Price, go around and then slickly kill guards, like to arrive to your destination. Again, such a good mission. It's like so complete, so well done overall. Not least the prison attack mission, where you encounter a very familiar face. You encounter Captain Price. And as I kind of said in the beginning, this game has the biggest betrayal in video game history. And I'm of course talking about when General Shepard betrays you and kills Ghost and kills Roach. And after this like horrible betrayal, you get one of the most satisfying endings ever. Like where you have to fight Shepard with like yourself and Price, and then you get like this knife stuck in your chest and you have to pull it out and throw it at Shepard and kill him. I mean, that mission still gives me chills. It's such a good mission. It has like everything like good about a mission in it, and it's just such a satisfying betrayal, thinking about how much damage Shepard managed to do. Modern Warfare 2 is of course going to go into the masterpiece tier, because this game is an absolute masterpiece. Then we have Black Ops 1, one of my personal favorites. I mean, the game is such a mysterious one. Like from the first mission where you sit in front of the monitors and are getting like questioned about the numbers and everything. I mean, it starts off being very cryptic. And I mean, it continues to be cryptic throughout the whole game, because you're still like, what's the numbers, and like you begin to see them and what's happening. You're trying to puzzle everything together. And then you meet President Kennedy in one mission, and suddenly you have like this urge to kill him, and you don't exactly understand why at this point. Then the game has 3 very memorable missions. You have the Vorkuta prison labor camp where you have to escape together with Reznov. And like, it's kind of cool to see Reznov in this game, as he was like your comrade in World of War. Then you have the snow satellite mission with Hudson, which you will experience if you played Black Ops Cold War. Then you'll experience the same mission just with Mason Woods. One unique mission, Black Ops 1, that ties like everything very well together is the one where you have to infiltrate Steiner's lab. Because first you go in there as Alex Mason and Reznov. And Reznov of course kills Steiner. And the next mission you play it as Hudson, but you realize at the end that it's not Reznov killing Steiner, it's actually Mason killing Steiner. So there you like see that Mason's vision is kind of twisted, and you get to realize that he's been brainwashed. But I would say the Black Ops 1's biggest strength is not like its memorable missions as like, let's say, Modern Warfare 1 and 2, but Black Ops 1's like biggest strength is its ability to tell a very compelling story. Black Ops 1 is going into the masterpiece tier, because this game is just an absolute gem. I mean, it just does everything right. And in my opinion, this might be the best Call of Duty game ever made, so far at least. And then we have Modern Warfare 3, the game where Makarov finally becomes the main villain of the game. First, we lost Soap, and this came as a complete shock for me, and I think most people, because Soap is one of the most beloved characters in the Modern Warfare series. Then Sandman sacrificed himself so you and Captain Price can escape. I mean, Infinity Ward is just not afraid of killing the most beloved characters in the series. But if I had to mention one mission I think that stood out like far beyond every other mission, it would be the last mission, where you, together as Yuri, are equipped with Juggernaut suits and like LMGs, and you just have to slaughter all the bad guys. I mean, there's not a lot of things that feels more powerful in Call of Duty than having to be in a Juggernaut suit, because you just feels invincible, you just feel so powerful. And the last mission still managed to build up so much suspense, like having to chase down Makarov, having Yuri sacrifice himself so you don't get killed by Makarov, and that just makes like killing Makarov so much like sweeter, so much better. Like Makarov have been like in all the Modern Warfare games, and he's like such a good villain. Like his Nemesis arc is just so well told, and the ending of Modern Warfare 3 is just a very good way to end off the whole Modern Warfare trilogy. And this game is like also it's a good game. It's not as good as Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and it's not as bad as like World of War. So I'd put it like in between. And then we have Black Ops 2, and this game doesn't waste a single second. Like in the first mission, you already have to rescue Woods, and you find him being in this this container filled with other dead bodies, other comrades. Then other memorable missions in the game were like we're in the desert having to fight against tanks and people on horses, and then eventually having to capture, interrogate, and then kill Kravchenko to then get betrayed. And then you get dumped in the desert, and you see Reznov again. You play as, of course, as Mason, but you see Reznov again. Like, the man just doesn't want to leave Black Ops games. He wants to be there in every single game made. And not to forget the mission where you accidentally killed Mason as Woods because you believe he's Menendez. And I believe that, like, myself and so many others found out later that if you decide to shoot Mason in his leg, he will survive the encounter, and you will see him like later in the game. One thing that Black Ops 2 did that's so different to any other COD game is that you actually get to play as the villain. You actually get to play as Menendez. We see him going on a murder spree, killing all the soldiers with a Spas 12 and a machete, and we see why. Because he wants to try and save his sister, but you eventually found out that Woods threw a grenade that accidentally killed his sister, and that's why he has like this revenge plot against Hudson, Mason, and Woods. This means that we get a better understanding of his past, as well as like get some reasons for why he do the things he do. And then Black Ops 2 was one of the first missions to introduce like choices. Like, you have to save these people, you have to do certain things to get like different outcomes. And I mean, this game just fits in like right alongside the OG Modern Warfare game, because they're just like perfect like very good pieces of like Call of Duty history. Well, I didn't play Ghost, I didn't play Advanced Warfare, so it would kind of be unfair for me to rank them whenever I have not played them. Then we have Black Ops 3, which starts out with arguably the most violent first mission of any game. Like, you basically see a exo robot thing tear off like you limb by limb, pulling off your arms and legs. Not my cup of tea. But then again, it's the first Black Ops game where you hop on the exo futuristic environment trend, and I mean it kind of worked out. I feel like they did a lot of great things with the futuristic vibe, even though a lot of people didn't like it. Then the story is weird. Like, the story is very weird and has like nothing to do. I don't know why they call it Black Ops. Like, if you take Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 had something to do with the Modern Warfare series. Like, you had similar characters. Like, the story somewhat made sense as it should be. But Black Ops 3 just has nothing to do with like the other Black Ops games. There is no like. It's just a bad game. So if I had to try and explain how the Black Ops 3 ending works. So in the start of the game, you like get torn off your limbs by this robot, and you actually die there. You think you live throughout the story, but you actually die at the start of the game. Then you somehow like see Tyler being like on your side throughout the first part of the story, and then at the ending he's like the villain. But if you read the comic books, you are actually playing as Tyler. Again, it makes no sense. I tried to understand the story, but never like figure out what it actually meant. Props to Treyarch for trying to make a very ambitious game with a very cryptic story as Black Ops 1. But this game just failed big time. I mean, this is the worst game. I wish I never played this campaign. Like, this is how much I hate it. I wish I never played it. And I have not played Infinite Warfare and like World War II, so again, it would be unfair for me to rank games I don't have like that much expertise about. And then we have like the newest Modern Warfare game, and my god, is that game good. It has the same like action-to-action feeling as the old game had, and it's like you feel like a real like special task force once again. And it's had like so many memorable missions, like the one where you had to go like from floor to floor like with night vision goggles and like had to go into different rooms and kill terrorists. That was such a good mission. And then the mission where like the terrorists want to like overthrow and enter this government building, where you have to go in and save them. Cool mission. As well, where you have to like navigate the hostage like through room to room with the camera, where you like watch the camera and you like have to guide the hostage around without getting detected. It's such a good mission, like wow. Then the mansion mission where you have to like sneakily go in and kill guards. Again, such a good mission overall. Then you also get to play as Farah, as like a young child with her brother, and like experience like their pain and their misery. So you explore like other characters than like the known, like Captain Price and such. And I like that about the game. Like, it's still a Modern Warfare game, but instead of like just exploring Captain Price and like the characters you know again, it's still like the core is still Modern Warfare, but it just expands on the game, adding new characters to them. And not like making them feel like irrelevant, but like making them a part of the story. And then the ending of the game, where you have like Alex sacrifice himself. I have heard like some rumors about him not dying, but not 100% confirmed. And then Price sitting at the table, like the ending cutscene where he's sitting at the table wanting to negotiate the future of Task Force 141, where he like pulls out the files where he's like, oh, this is Gas, this is Soap, this is Ghost, this is all the good characters. So, oh, it's so good. Like so it's still Modern Warfare game with like Farah and like the new story and like new characters, and it just ends up with a bang, setting up for like the next game, saying, hey, all the good old beloved characters are like back, they're alive, and they're ready for the future. And I think this game is like an absolute gem. It's a wonderful game, and it's just perfect. But it just needs that like extra tick for it to be like a master tier, and that's why I'm going to put it in the S+ tier for now. And last but not least, one of my personal favorites, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I've already made a separate video talking about why I think this game is so good as it is, and why it's going to revolutionize the way we think about Call of Duty in the future. I will like link it up there. If I had to like mention a couple of other things and the ones I have in the video, I think that Adler, for one, is a very good character. He's well made. He just fits the story. You have Mason Woods back there, like iconic, beloved characters. And then I would say there's two missions that stands out very clearly. There's the stealth KGB headquarters mission, where I have to go in like stealthily undercover, have to basically play through the game as like without it being too railroaded. You have like options on how you want to acquire the keycard, which I think are very, very new, exciting ways for like Call of Duty. Then you have the snow mission, like the same mission you played back in Black Ops 1. The mission that kind of also became a meme.
I'm a goddamn onion, Mason. You should know that.
So if you haven't played Black Ops 1, I would highly recommend it because it just makes this mission so much better. The fact that you have more choices, like if you want to capture this person, if you want to kill them, like you have more choices throughout the game, which I think are kind of pretty cool. And if I had to like mention a couple of things about the ending, I think that the ending for a lot of people were like a bit too weird, but I still think it was like an ambitious attempt to make a complex story. And my personal opinion is that it worked out super well. I feel like it wasn't like the story wasn't crazy. It made sense because everything else were like lined up being crazy. So having like the plot twist it had like just made sense overall. This game is absolutely phenomenal. It's like a wonderful game, and I think it, for the Call of Duty franchise, it did the same thing as like the first Modern Warfare game. It's going to revolutionize how we think about Call of Duty games in the future, and that's why it's going on like the S+. So I made some small changes to the list because I believe that the new Modern Warfare game and the new Black Ops game like are both so good. They just need that extra little tech to be like a masterpiece, but I still believe they're like just a tiny bit better than the first the OG Modern Warfare game and like Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And I'm like happy with the result, like placing things. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. You're an absolute legend. But if you feel like I was wrong or have I missed a point or anything else, feel free to jump into my live stream. I live stream on Twitch. I have a link in the description down below if you want to come in and just chill and tell me why I was wrong. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, fantastic, superb, super fantastic day.